Welcome to the TBE Talks podcast at the UBC in Bath. We'd also like to thank Milstead Langdon and Goff Solicitors for sponsoring this amazing opportunity to meet some inspiring people. And I'm talking about the TBE Most Inspiring Women of 2026.
Hi, I'm Ruth Keily. I'm the Chief Executive of youth charity Mentoring Plus, based in Bath, working right across Bath, North East Somerset. We provide one-to-one mentoring and youth clubs for children and young people who are struggling in school, struggling with issues at home or with mental well-being.
Ruth, lovely to meet you. Thank you very much for coming along. Tell us about Mentoring Plus. In very briefly, what is it all about?
So Mentoring Plus is a youth charity. It's based in Bath, been here nearly 30 years, working right across Bath, North East Somerset. And we're here to support children and young people who are struggling in school with access to education and issues there. Problems at home, lots of different family issues that young people are facing. All that time we've been looking after young people, we've been matching them with one-to-one trusted adults, and that has a really magic effect, and that's what mentoring is all about.
And where does that passion come from? Where did it all start within you?
I'm not the founder of Mentoring Plus. I stand on the shoulders of giants. It's been around since 1998, where it was set up actually nationally. There were 12 Mentoring Pluses set up, actually looking at the causes of crime, looking at the potential for young people to be offenders, which is a really bad way of defining the difficulties that young people face. Nobody's just at risk of offending. There's always reasons why. There are always things that are missing, things that they are angry or frustrated about. And if you can deal with those things, actually, it's a much broader need that you can start to reach. You can really look at young people who have poorly met educational needs, young people whose family is facing multiple different stresses and strains, and there's not enough resource to give to them. So just provide them with that space to name it, reflect it, and not just talk about their problems. That's the big difference about mentoring. What are they interested in? What's the positive, exciting things that they're reaching for? And our mentors are incredible at helping those young people name them, identify them, feel like they're entitled to them, and maybe even start connecting to the pathway forward.
What do you think you've discovered about yourself doing this kind of work?
My kids have been in school. I just sort of thought, oh, that's that type of child. That's that type of child. Hands on heart, I hadn't really considered all of the huge issues that lots of young people are really facing. And until it's put in front of you, you don't always. And that's part of my role now, to say to the rest of the people in my community, have you thought about why that child might be playing out in that particular way? Are there ways that we can help? We don't just blame parents. We don't just blame schools. We actually look at what those needs are and can each of us do something to help.
Do you have any examples of where the work that you're doing has had a really big impact on somebody?
Families and young people within them can cope with one or two things. It's when they start to multiply that any family can start to struggle. You can have a young person, well, I'm thinking of where illness in the family, a family member very unwell, and that's put huge strain on the marriage of their parents, and they've split up. Parent they're still living with has had to give up work to look after the other family member. There isn't the resource then to look after that young person. Finances become much more of an issue, and they're angry and frustrated and scared, all the things that we all would be. And that can happen to any family here in Bath, North East Somerset, or anywhere. That isn't about anyone making bad decisions. There isn't anyone failing to be a good parent. They're doing their absolute level best with the resources they've got. But that young person matched with a mentor has got a couple of hours a week completely focused on them, the things they want to do, and also the things that they might need a gentle challenge about. And well, maybe there's other ways to cope with that and difficulties you're facing. And then our professionals work in the background to let school know this is what that young person is actually dealing with at home. School may not be aware. Relationship between school and home might be breaking down. We can pull those things together, but at the heart of it is that one adult, that one child, just having a really positive time together based on what that child is excited about and interested in and wants to connect.
Of course, you're doing this with young people. You're making a big difference. How does that affect the family? Because you've got two daughters, so how are you arming them? And do you see yourself how the work you do makes a difference on a personal level?
I think when I came to do this work and did the mentor training that all our mentors do and started to work with all the brilliant therapeutic professionals alongside me, I did realise I had done some parenting a bit wrong. And I hold my hand up to that.
All?
Yeah, and for my girls, I would just hope that they don't take perfectionism into the workplace. And I think we bring up girls to be perfectionists, and they are very successful at it. They're great in school, they're great in university, if that's where they go, outperform the lads. And then in the workplace, perfectionism doesn't work for them. They don't value courage enough and the bravery to say, it doesn't matter if I get this wrong, I'll try this, which I think typically, very stereotypically, we value in boys more and we don't value in girls.
We often have, don't we, a sort of distorted view of where we live in our community, our neighbours, our friends and all that kind of thing. And I know you're very keen to kind of dispel a lot of those myths, because we have this preconception of what it is we're in and how we fit into society. Just tell us a little bit about that.
For sure. I mean, I grew up near Bristol. When I wanted to move back to the southwest, I chose Bath because it's beautiful, it's vibrant, it's connected, it's all the things that I wanted. And I've brought up kids here, I've run businesses here. It's a brilliant place to be. But it's not only that. And I think there is a real perception that, there's no lack of resources in Bath. Everybody lives in Georgian townhouses and dresses in Regency costume. And when I talk to funders outside the area, we have the Baines conversation. Actually, this is an area with huge disparity between the performance and attainment for young people in those families most financially worse off and the rest. Massive attainment gap. There's very little social mobility, very little employment. And it is a beautiful place to be if you have resources and a car and a sense of yourself that you are entitled to the things around you. And it's very underserved for those who don't. Much less well served than if we were in an inner city area. And I'm really proud of the fact that we work right across rural northeast Somerset, where actually isolation is a huge issue. And it's very difficult to reach out and take opportunities, even if you identify them and think that you're interested in them. So part of my role is to play back to the people in my region. This is your region. This is where we are. It is a brilliant and lovely place to be. But are you doing your bit to make sure it's lovely for everybody? And don't just buy in the idea that if your postcode says that you are not financially deprived, that there are no needs, because there really are. And actually, there is not a simple relationship even between people's finances and the level of needs that young people face. It can be very complex, and any family can need extra support.
This is a difficult one because I'm not a woman, but imagine I'm a woman, I'm starting out in business. What bit of advice would you give me?
This is a piece of advice I actually got from a man, which was my predecessor as director of Mentoring Plus, and he put in place a value which is challenge with compassion. And I really like it. It chimes with lots of things I was doing anyway, but sometimes things just say, oh yes, that's encapsulated for me. The idea of don't duck a challenge, try and ask a question, try and do it compassionately, use your energy to make a challenge palatable to somebody else. And that could be your line manager, it could be your colleague, it could be somebody you manage, it could be an external person. We do it a lot in our work where we're co-supporting families with other professionals, and we might not agree with their decisions, but we'll always challenge with compassion and say, look, I know where you're coming from. I know what resources are tight. What I need to say to you is, and that means they're not using most of their energy to overcome being irritated. It really works. But it does mean use your voice, use it wisely and respectfully, but use it. And I hope that also plays back to the idea that women need to be a bit braver in the workplace and not just worry about being liked. At the same time, we love working with women. I like it. Men like working with women because we do worry about connections as well as personal aggrandizement. That's who women are in the workplace. Don't lose those good bits, but have some courage and challenge with compassion.
Yeah, plenty to go away and think about. Ruth, it's been lovely meeting you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.